Welcome to SVG-TV News for Tuesday, January 22nd, 2019. I am Rochelle Batis with the details. Security surveillance and water patrol are expected to intensify in the marine space of SVG with the $6.8 million Coast Guard vessel, Captain Hugh Mulzac. The Coast Guard vessel, deemed as a first of its kind in the OECS region, was commissioned yesterday at the cruise ship terminal in Kingston. Larissa Pugsley-Kidd tells us more in this report.
Off-sea patrol vessel with hull number SVG-01 is equipped with facilities to defend SVG's maritime space. The vessel, Captain Hugh Mulzac, has a crew capacity of 19, 4 guests, maximum speed of 26.5 knots, has a range of 1,800 nautical miles and can remain at sea for 14 days. Speaking to a large crowd that came out to witness the commissioning yesterday at the dock at the cruise ship terminal, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves noted the importance of having such a vessel in SVG waters, especially when it comes to search and rescue.
Who want to test it must test it. I'm not telling you how fast it's going, you'll find out. The vessel is fitted with a firefighting system which is capable of discharging 2,000 liters or 528.3 US gallons of water and foam per minute. It has accommodation capacity for 18 persons, 14 crew and 4 guests, like police, immigration, customs, fisheries.
PM Gonsalves said it is a proud time for SVG as it is the first vessel of its kind in the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States. The vessel was contracted to Damen Shipyards out of the Netherlands, who will train and provide maintenance of the new Coast Guard. The regional security system will be working closely with SVG, and according to its director, Arrington Sherland, they are pleased with the investment made by the government of SVG.
Whether in the form of joint law enforcement operations or the sharing of information and experiences is of critical importance in combating the security challenges in our area of responsibility.
Police Commissioner Colin John reminded the Coast Guard crew to ensure protocol is observed and followed at all times and emphasized the need to make reports.
On commissioning, Captain Hugh Mulzac will be under my full command. You are to bring to my attention, to my immediate notice, anything which gives you cause for dissatisfaction with the ship or any part of them, or any other matters of importance, in particular those relating to the welfare of the crews of the ship's crew.
The Coast Guard Service previously had a Captain Mulzac vessel, but it was decommissioned after it became non-functional. The Coast Guard fleet to date includes 3 safe boats, 2 inflatable boats, and the partially operational Hyroon boat. The new Captain Hugh Mulzac will be based at Calico and is being commanded by Lieutenant Enos Hamlet. Reporting for SVG-TV News, Larissa Pugsley-Kidd.
And the officers of the SVG Coast Guard were commended by Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves for their service in search and rescue. PM Gonsalves said many lives were saved last year as a result of search and rescue operation by the SVG Coast Guard.
Because we had small vessels, we did 3,021 hours, which is not bad. And we did 67 search and rescue cases, and we did medical evacuation, and we saved 87 lives last year.
The persons rescued last year included several St. Lucian nationals. The election petition status hearing will be held on Thursday, at which time the lawyers for both the petitioners and respondents will find out whether a new judge has been appointed to hear the case on February 11th this year. Trinidadian Stanley John has been appointed to act as a judge for Thursday's status hearing. In the meantime, opposition leader Dr. Godwin Friday said that they are holding on to the date of February 11th to have a substantial hearing of the case, as they have not received any information with regards to any changes taking place.
This matter concerns all of us. It is not just a Ben Exeter matter or a Lauren Batiste matter. It is not just the Dr. Friday matter or an NDP matter. It is a matter for all Vincentians, perhaps even for Caribbean people. It's a Caribbean matter. I know that with all the delays we've had and the apparent winding down of the clock towards the constitutional date for fresh elections, many people have been disappointed about the way the matters have gone. However, we cannot allow the cases to go on without the public knowing what is happening and taking an interest in seeing them to their proper conclusion. I am inviting one and all to come to the court on Thursday, 9 o'clock, and on the subsequent days when the trial will be held, to witness the full unfolding of the legal process guaranteed by our laws and our democratic traditions. Our electoral process must be free and fair, and it must be seen to be so by the people who rely on it to elect their government.
Senator K. Bacchus-Batiste, who is one of the lawyers for the petitioners, said that they are prepared for the case as they have been waiting 3 years to have a final judgment on the matter.
Our petitions are very, very important for the future of elections in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and for the right to free and fair elections by secret ballot. And every word I've said there is important. Free and fair elections by secret ballot. We are attacking the 2015 elections on the fact that, one, we said void ballots were counted. Over 300 ballots that should not have been counted were counted. The other side, they have admitted to that. We are also saying that the ballot was poorly designed and led to a breach of the secrecy. Many of you would have seen pictures of those ballots. We do not even have to have the box, examine the boxes, which would have been good anyway to show it. But we have no doubt that the strength of our case, our arguments would prevail, that the ballots were, one, poorly designed, badly designed, and I will say knowingly or recklessly, which led to the breach of the secrecy of the ballot. And we are also questioning the mechanism, the machinery, and the free and fair, the constitution, the electoral laws asks for wooden ballot boxes with a key that can be locked. There's no gainsaying that the ballot boxes that are being used are illegal. The previous supervisor of election commented on that in her report on more than one occasion. So these are serious issues that if we want to sit back and brag that we win election 4 years in a row, we should confront these issues, because history will show, unless this is aired and cleared properly, Dr. Gonsalves will never convince the vast majority of people in this country that they won elections 4 years in a row, or even 3 years in a row.
Justice Esco Henry removed herself from the case last year, days after she granted an application that the hearing be postponed to February 11, 2019. She cited that during the days set aside for the petition's hearing, 12 other matters were due to be heard, and this disturbed her because it could be perceived by the public that she knew beforehand that the petitions were not going to be heard. Hence, the matters were set down. Both lawyers for the petitioners and the respondents agreed that the judge did the right thing to recuse herself from the case. In other news, Ambassador of the Republic of India to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, His Excellency Mahendra Singh Kanial, on Monday, January 21st, 2019, presented his letters of credence to Governor General His Excellency Sir Frederick Ballantyne at Government House. St. Vincent and the Grenadines and the Republic of India have a long history of diplomatic and economic cultural relations since the mid-1980s. In 2013, the government of India donated a sum of $100,000 for humanitarian assistance in the wake of damage caused by the floods. Under the program Modernization of Arut Industry for Climate Change, Resilience and Sustainable Rural Livelihoods in Indigenous Communities, SVG also secured grant assistance to the tune of $1.9 million from the Indian UN Development Partnership Fund. India's partnership has also been extending in the field of training through short-term training courses for persons under the Indian Technical and Economic Cooperation for various programs. A news release from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs says the accreditation of High Commissioner Kanyal serves to reaffirm bilateral relations between SVG and India, which will continue to strengthen through cooperation in areas of mutual interest such as promoting people-to-people exchanges, information technology, agri-businesses, health, disaster management, and cultural cooperation, among others. High Commissioner Kanyal is resident in Suriname. Welcome back. The nation's youth are being further encouraged to get involved in agriculture so that they can make their contribution in the development of the sector. The appeal came from Minister of Agriculture Saboto Caesar, who was addressing a recent handing over ceremony in Orange Hill. Minister Caesar told the gathering that better systems have to be put in place to attract younger people to the industry.
We want to get into agriculture, but we want systems and methodologies which are youth-friendly. There's a list of persons who want to go and pick fruits in Canada. Long list. There's a long list of persons who want to work at all the stations. Every single station in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and Gums will tell you that. Nobody could tell me and convince me that young people don't want to get into agriculture. But the wish is that the techniques that we use are not traditional, outdated techniques. They are interested in a modern agriculture.
The Ministry of Agriculture is currently engaged in several projects creating employment opportunities for a number of persons, and according to Minister Caesar, they have been yielding benefits for the youth.
Agriculture coming into the country, we can provide foreign direct investors and also local entrepreneurs who want trained persons. We could send persons and give persons who are working on the stations an opportunity to go and work privately. So basically what we are creating is a labor bank of a cadre of skilled persons who have been trained, Jackson, over a period of time. Therefore, when they enter the workforce, they enter at a higher level, because nobody here who is trained for 2 and 3 years should go and work with anybody as a laborer and obtain the pay as a laborer. You are a skilled worker.
Recently, the compost facility and the biotechnology center at Orange Hill were commissioned, providing employment for a number of persons. 90%, Minister Caesar said, are young people. SVG is said to be making headway in meeting the Millennium Development Goals by 2020 with the help of the Basic Needs Trust Fund programs. So says Director of the BNTF, Dunstan Johnson, at the recent opening of a washroom facility in Butland Glass community of Barley. Johnson says one key area is to have a sustainable environment.
St. Vincent is a signatory. The BNTF programs is one avenue where the government has partnered with the Caribbean Development Bank to make available investment to assist with reducing poverty in vulnerable rural communities. And again, through the improvement in access to roads, footpaths, and drainage, education, at the primary and secondary levels, improvement in access to water and sanitation.
Johnson said over the past 3 decades, there have been many developments in communities across SVG.
Overall, for the past 30 years, these BNTF programs have made tremendous positive impact on the lives of poor and vulnerable, especially again, as I will say, in the rural communities in this country. BNTF 9 is in progress. There are 11 projects that will be implemented under this program. There will be 10 infrastructure projects, inclusive of 3 footpaths, 1 retaining wall, 1 drain, the construction of 2 early learning childhood development centers, and the rehabilitation and enhancement